Well, I think I'll tell a joke. Like, I've been playing, for I guess 3 years, and I only learned one joke in my life, and I figured this is as good a place and time as any to lay it on. There was this guy walking down the street. And he was a Catholic by religion, but he hadn't been to church, in 8, 10, 12 years. And he walked by this nun, a sister, looking in this restaurant window. Real nice restaurant, and he walked and he stopped and he thought, and he said, maybe if I took her in there to dinner, I could put myself back on the right spiritual track, get everything going good again. He thought, he said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So he walked back. He said, sister, excuse me. I see you're looking in that restaurant window. You've probably never had dinner in there before. And she said, no, sir, I never have. He said, well, would you like to go in and have dinner with me now? And she said, oh, thank you, sir, but I couldn't do that. We never carry any more money than we absolutely need. And he said, no, sister, no. I'd like to buy your lunch for you. It would be my privilege. And she said, oh, no, sir, I couldn't let you do that. He said, well, sister, it would mean a great deal to me spiritually if you would allow me to. And she thought for a second and said, well, sir, if that's the case, I think it would be all right. I have about an hour and a half before I catch my bus. I think it would be fine. And so they went in, sat down, The waiter brought over the menus, and there were these big old menus with like 3-4 pages. And on the first page were the drinks. So the good sister opened it up. She looked up, said, sir, could you tell me, please, what is a marten eye? The guy looked up, and he looked up and he realized that from what he could see, she was really pretty nice looking. And that he could probably reform himself anytime, But a chance like that comes along maybe once, in a lifetime. So he said, well, sister, it's a little drink, comes in a little cute stem glass, has an olive in it. You have 4 or 5 before lunch. Everything else that you have tastes much better, increase your appetite, make your lunch much more enjoyable. And she said, well, sir, if it's not too much trouble and it's not too expensive, I believe I'd like to have one. He said, okay, sister, I'll have one too. So the waiter comes over and says, sir, I'll take your order if I may. And he kind of gives him the little toe under the table, and says, we'd like to start off, please, with 2 marten eyes. The waiter kind of saunters around, does the buffalo shuffle and figures the customer's always right. He leaves and goes back to the bar, and he said, Joe, you're not going to believe this, but I just got an order for 2 marten eyes. And Joe says, is that damn nun in here again? Well, thank you. Well, I better follow that with another talking blues song. I'll do the one about Thunderbird wine. I suppose y'all have, well. I didn't know they had Thunderbird wine up here. Best way to drink it, I found out last few months, is to drink about this much out and pour in a 10-cent can of grapefruit juice. It's called a shake 'em up. You shake it up. Well, here's a story. This is a true story about the first time I ever had any Thunderbird wine in Houston, Texas. A you-totem is, there's a word in this song, you-totem, which is like a little store, you know, a drive-in grocery store. You get beer and wine and tomatoes and